Hello guys, this is Yellow Cloud. Today we're going to be reacting to the Uncle Klunk Incident Showbiz Pizza Creepypasta. This is by a channel called Freaky Attractions, and I don't really know about them, but this was on my recommended feed, and the thumbnail looked enticing. I mean, it was like an animatronic or something from back in the day, so it's going to be a cool story. It is a creepypasta, in fact, so yeah, it's about almost 10 minutes long, so we're in for a longer video here, but it's probably going to be spooky, and I'm excited. So let's get into it. If you guys want to check out the original video, you can do that in the description below, as well as Freaky Attractions channel, and all those links up there are very important, especially the Discord server, because that's where you can request anything for me to react to. Let's get into it. Freaky Attractions.
Out of all the scary animatronic stories out there, I would have to say the one about the
he
Showbiz
just looks
pizza
weird.
animatronic named Uncle Klunk has got to be one of the creepiest there is. Uncle Klunk was the first new character to be introduced to the Rocket Fire explosion, which was the animatronic band at Showbiz Pizza. From the beginning, Uncle Klunk was quite a strange character, so much so that they actually referred to him as the Abomination.
I mean, just look at him.
Yet beneath his odd, creepy persona, he was one of the most sophisticated animatronic characters produced by Creative Engineering Inc. at the time, with nearly twice the number of movements of any other character. He could actually pick up a telephone or a banana from a conveniently placed fruit basket. Less than 50 Uncle Klunks were produced, which meant not every store received one, or at least not at the same time.
50, dang.
The idea was for Klunk to be a traveling character, appearing for a few months in a particular location, and later being removed and placed in another store. However, that didn't last long. Uncle Klunk was designed to be a wacky talk show host, and was built to look like a member of their engineering team, only with hugely exaggerated features. Shortly after the initial release, his creator rejected the character because he said that it was too ugly for a children's audience, and that it just gave him a bad feeling.
That gives me a bad feeling. Look at it.
By the board, and they decided to send out the animatronic anyways. Eventually, though, every restaurant he was placed at complained about him. Every single one. People thought it was creepy, kids would say it wouldn't stop looking at them, and that it even tried grabbing them when they were close to it. This really put a damper on the company's plans for the robot. As I had mentioned before, this was one of the most complicated animatronics they had ever built at the time, and the company wanted to get some return on their investment. But I mean, if you make something that damn ugly, bring them back to the warehouse to tinker
what's the point?
Spend
so much time.
Which, at least from a mechanical standpoint, there was nothing. Although even the head of the company would say he had never been more frightened of an animatronic in his life. Details as to why have been released.
Details as why. Look at him.
Changing its show around a bit, but nothing ever really worked to get people to accept the animatronic. Around the same time, in the early 1980s, dozens of strange mishaps began to occur at Showbiz Pizzas. The first of many being a serial killer abducting a child from one of the restaurants right underneath.
What about just making like 4 animal animatronics, you know? Maybe a bear, maybe a rabbit.
One night, seemingly out of nowhere, by one of the dads who had brought his twins there for their birthday, which resulted in several deaths. Then after that, the list just goes on. Aside from all these things occurring at Showbiz Pizza, there was no other connection until a detective realized these tragedies always seemed to happen at the locations which Uncle Klunk was temporarily installed at. And then there were the stories from the children, who claimed that the animatronic had announced what was going to happen before tragedy struck. After rumors of all this stuff hit the public, the company in a panic recalled all of the Uncle Klunk animatronics nationwide.
And destroyed them, right?
And brought them back to the corporate warehouse, where they just sat for years.
Oh.
That is, all of them except for one. The one which was installed at the Showbiz Pizza I used to work at. I'm not sure how we got left out of that recall, but due to some kind of corporate mix-up, we had one of those things for months after they were taken back.
Jeez.
In fact, nobody in my restaurant, including my boss, was even aware of the recall at all. However, we all knew there was something weird about that animatronic. For example, one thing I personally saw
I just can't stop looking at
it open its eyes really wide during the show.
He just looks
so
weird.
Stuck like that sometimes. Just staring with these huge open eyes directly at people. and it would fixate on certain individuals in the audience. Then even after we'd power it down, turn it back on, it would just go through the show and freeze again while staring at the same person. I started to notice it follows several people around like that until they would feel so uncomfortable that they'd just walk away or leave. I eventually told my boss we were losing business because of that, and he took the Uncle Klunk out of the main show.
And destroyed it,
behind
right?
This black curtain at the back of the arcade area.
Oh.
Our arcade was different than most Showbiz pizza restaurants, in the sense that it was divided from the main showroom and pizza area. However, moving the animatronic back there definitely didn't stop it from disturbing the restaurant patrons. I kid you not, at least once a week, a child would run out from the arcade crying, saying that he looked behind the black sheet because the robot had pointed at him or something. Considering it was totally unplugged at that time, these stories really freaked me out.
I mean, you could just destroy
Although I just tried
it.
to tell myself they were from the kids' imaginations, and to ignore it. That was until the incident happened.
Oh, the incident.
The one which would change my and several other lives forever. My brother was actually there on the day that it occurred. He was eating pizza with a couple of the neighbor kids, watching the Rock of Fire Explosion show, when he got bored and decided to run over to the video game area to play some games. After about a half hour, he stepped back into the showroom with a look on his face I had never seen him make before. It was one of total shock, like he had just seen something he couldn't begin to understand. Concerned, I walked over to him
eating someone?
and asked what was wrong. He just said, "Uncle Klunk talked." The hairs raised on the back of my neck as soon as he said this. But as much as it scared me, I needed to find out more. He told me that it had sounded like it was reporting the news or something.
You don't really
And then
need
it
to
had
find
mentioned
out
a
more.
tragic
Just get
accident
out
at
of there.
Showbiz Pizza, leading to the deaths of several people. My brother wasn't really one to make up stuff, so when he told me that, I immediately took it seriously. I decided to walk with him over to the animatronic to try and make sure it wasn't plugged in.
And that's when you
I was
got
just hoping he
killed.
somehow maybe heard it wrong.
Maybe.
He stepped into the arcade room, and as I was about to follow, I saw the bright lights of a truck flash through the windows. Then the front of a semi-truck crashed through the wall of the building,
Okay,
pushing
well.
nearly everyone inside. I was knocked back by an arcade machine, but was mostly okay, although I was probably mere feet away from being killed myself. My brother wasn't so
Jeez.
lucky. He had been crushed
Oh.
instantly by the truck. The truly terrifying thing, too, was when I got up to look into the wreckage.
Uncle Klunk was
I
standing
swear
there.
the truck had just barely missed the Uncle Klunk animatronic, and it could now be seen clearly from the rest of the room. It gazed toward me through the concrete and smoke, with his white eyes just giant and lifeless, almost mocking me.
This is the boss
After
battle.
hearing about the incident, corporate contacted my location and immediately returned the animatronic back to the warehouse, apologizing profusely for not keeping us in the loop, although there wasn't much that mere apologies would do at that point. I heard that they have since disassembled these animatronics,
Hey.
but that a couple of them were unaccounted for.
Oh.
I guess they were possibly sold to a collector or just kept by a disturbed fan who worked for the company. I've
You
even
would
heard
have to be
rumors that
real
there's a collector
disturbed.
out there who's intentionally buying up these supposed cursed animatronics and is trying to create his own museum with them, which honestly
No,
terrifies me more than anything.
That's not no museum. That's
I
a
may
death
never know why
trap.
this animatronic in particular was the cause of so much destruction, or if there truly are any left out there. But please, if you know someone who has one, tell them to get rid of it as soon as you can. My story shows that they are truly very dangerous. And let's just say when the animatronics creators decided to call it an abomination,
They
they
were
were
right.
not far off. Hey, it's Mr. Freaky. I hope you enjoyed that original creepypasta. What
Oh, that's
animatronics
original,
do you
nice.
think would belong in that museum?
All right.
Leave it in the comments and it might show up in a future video. If you haven't done so, please go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel,
I
as well as
gotcha.
join the Discord if you want to get involved in the community. Have a horrific evening, everyone, and remember to stay
All
spooky,
right, I'll
my
see ya.
friend.
Well, that was the Uncle Klunk incident. This is the so this is the original creepypasta by Freaky Attractions. I'm so sorry. Freaky Attractions. That really was a freaky attraction. I don't know if Uncle Klunk existed in real life, but I mean the footage speaks for itself that it's definitely a possibility. Yeah, that was a really good story, and as a matter of fact, the Uncle Klunk footage that we saw was just so. It was so. He just looks weird. Like if people designed him, just like I don't know, there's something wrong with them. They just look terrible. But you know, these stories are really cool. I would definitely love to check out more of these creepypastas, especially if you guys like these. Matter of fact, this video is already like 9 days old, so I'm a bit late to this, but still, I really enjoyed that. That was good. That was a really good story. I just wish, I mean, seriously, I don't think, the thing is, like, obviously these animatronic, like, you know, there's a lot of stories, especially ever since Five Nights at Freddy's. There's been a lot of these animatronic creepy stories, you know, The Hug, that short film, and then just a bunch of stuff like that. But this never really happened. I don't think there was ever, like, really any animatronic, or anywhere where there was animatronics. I don't think there was, like, deaths or like constant like terrible things happening like it's trying to be normalized. They were always just kind of unnerving and creepy, but I don't think they were ever like, you know, sadistic enough. I don't think they had like a mind of their own, but yeah, these stories are pretty creepy. I really like that story though. It did freak me out a little bit, and yeah, maybe I should put some more creepypastas on this channel, because that seems to be a good video, or a good genre of videos to react to. Now, that's really it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, all reaction requests, please put them in the Discord server. And once again, if you guys want to check out freaky attractions, you can do that in the description below. And I want to give a shout out to Lucid. Happy birthday to Lucid. Thank you so much for all the support. And that's really it. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.